Ray-Ban Meta glasses come with open-ear audio, so you can listen to your favorite music without blocking out the world around you.
Hey, Meta, play Gorgeous.
Here's Gorgeous by Doja Cat.
You can also ask Meta AI questions.
Hey, Meta, when's Doja Cat's next concert?
Doja Cat is playing at the Los Angeles Theater next Tuesday.
Sweet.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, available at Ray-Ban stores and other authorized retailers.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the individuals participating in the show. All persons described or mentioned in the podcast should be considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. This podcast contains subject matter such as violence and graphic descriptions along with adult language, which may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
In 2025, is it still possible just to simply disappear and never be seen again? No trace whatsoever? Well, tonight, we will visit two cases from the great state of Arkansas that prove that it's still possible. You're listening to the Mysterious Brews podcast, and tonight we bring you the case of Thomas Duncan Callens and Brandon Blancett.
Welcome to a deep, dark, dank, moist basement somewhere in the bowels of Georgia. Well, Coachum, don't know how cold it's supposed to be where you at because you were a little bit north of me, but tomorrow with the wind chill, they say it's going to be 19 degrees down here.
Yeah, this is the wind chill is going to feel like 10 up here.
No, sir, that's where I draw the line. I do not function as a human.
It's cold. It's so cold, in fact, that my beautiful wife even shut our windows.
We had to turn up. I was going to say, I have, my beautiful bride is going through the change of seasons, if you get what I'm putting down, and she turned off the ceiling fans. She keeps this about just above morgue status.
No, the fans will be on. Well, the box fan. As you can see,
I was going to say, you still ain't done your duty as a man.
I can't do that. I don't know what to do. There's wires and shit.
Well, if you cut the power off and you do, it says it in the box. It's damn near idiot proof.
Damn near.
I mean, I am one hell of a supervisor. I can read and yell at you for not holding the flashlight right, make you feel like right at home.
Well, we're going to end up having to do some home improvements. Fix the fan. We're going to need a new toilet.
Toilets are easy.
I just don't want to do it.
They're nasty. Don't get me wrong. They're
I've
nasty.
done it before.
Yeah, they're not.
I've installed one before.
Yeah.
I just don't want to.
They're not hard. But anyway, so on the patron front, we had some thankful listeners. Katie B, Dr. Katie B, said that she was so fascinated and interested, and thanks for the shout out. And then Peace Cat, OG Peace Cat, said she's been waiting for this episode. Peace Cat, if you're listening, you don't have to wait. You OG. You send direct message. We get it done.
That's right. Hey, we very appreciative of the people that found us early and stuck with us because there's not been many.
Hey, and shout out to our good friends out in Arkansas, the Heartlines. There was a Dateline NBC episode done on Bardstown, and Senior Heartline said you ought to talk. If you think this is good, you ought to check out Mysterious Brews. They did a great job on the 3 or 4 parter they did.
He did what now? He shouted us out on Dateline?
Yeah, buddy. On the Dateline comments.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying he was on Dateline.
No, shit. If he was on Dateline, I'd have called him up.
I was confused for a minute.
Well, where's it? It's called something. What do you call that where they mention you? Is it called mentions?
Yeah, I believe it would be, wouldn't it?
Well, you'd think. It don't look like they're going to let me pull it up again. But anyway.
Anywho, we appreciate the hell out of it.
That's about
Man,
enough.
I know we talked about it off air, but can you believe Vanderbilt is 8-2? That is just insane. The whole world's gone crazy.
What about
They should be
Indiana?
9-1.
What about Indiana?
I'm tickled pink about Indiana. I got a friend of mine. I wrestled with him in college, and he was a huge, big-time Indiana fan. Unfortunately, when we were both 33, he had a brain aneurysm at work and just died at his desk.
That's not good.
No. So I'm very happy that they're doing well, and I hope they continue to do well. If Tennessee can't win it, then I will have to root for Alabama, so my wife will be happy. But if Alabama can't win it, then let's have the Hoosiers win it.
I think right now the hardest road to hoe is going to be playing Alabama, Texas A&M, the Ohio State. I was corrected earlier. And then Indiana's going to be good. But here's the thing. I saw a clip the other day. Is it the Big 10 that they're in or the Big 12? I can't keep up.
What?
Indiana and Ohio State.
Big 10. Big 10.
Okay, so taking Indiana and Ohio State in consideration, the bottom 4 teams were combined for like 3 wins.
Dang.
So I always forget to check the old Spotify comments, and we had 3 new ones, and by new, it means they found us. Anna Banana Bear 8665 says, I love this podcast.
Yay.
And then Grace Pelham, late to the party, but intro is the chef's kiss, had me gripped, and I don't mind the no answers. It's realistic. Thank you, Arlo and Coach. Much appreciated. I listen all the time. Your voices are very calming. And that was on the David Glenn Lewis episode.
That's a good episode, man. That's the one, the Super Bowl guy? Ain't that the one?
I think so.
Yeah, that's such a crazy case.
The artist known just as Jason said, love you guys, man. Cobra Chickens and Note Ropes are here. Why haven't y'all done Victorio Peak? That's a damn good question.
What is Victorio Peak? And
I believe it is a haunted situation or high strangeness. We'll have to look into it, sir. And then the latest one, just a mere 5 days ago, the artist known as Amy Murphy said, wait until you have a daughter. If it's hard to say no to your wife, my husband is wrapped around our little girl's finger.
Let me tell you, we got in a little bit, not an argument, nothing like that, but we got in a little bit of a conversation about me not saying no to her. And I was like, I know your parents never said no to you. So we FaceTimed them. And her mom was like, no, her dad really didn't.
Threw her daddy right under the bus.
Yeah. She said, I would tell her no, and then she would immediately be like, Daddy.
What? Get out of town. All right, boys and girls, we're going to jump into it.
But I couldn't ask for better in-laws, though. They're awesome.
I lucked up, too. Mine are great. They may not reciprocate the feeling. However, I do remind my father-in-law most of the time I am the greatest son-in-law he has. Okay, yeah. So it's true. I mean, it's true. He's probably, if he's listening, he's probably nodding his head like, I don't want to admit it, but he's right. So we're going to take you to Corinth, Mississippi on January 7th of 2025. So
Mississippi? I thought it was in Arkansas.
Well, but it's right there on the tri-state area. It was a cold, frigid, unforgiving kind of winter morning. Kind of like what we were talking about to hit us tomorrow. Says around 5:30 in the morning, 38-year-old Thomas Duncan Callens did just that. He walked outside of his girlfriend's home on a quiet stretch of Mathis Road, dressed in little more than a blue hoodie, green beanie, and multicolored shorts.
He was intoxicated, right?
That's what it sounds like. He would not be seen again, at least not by those who knew him. What followed was a plethora of unanswered questions, a desperate family-led search, and a mystery that lingers today like the frost on a cold ice morning.
You are like...
Feeling my oats.
You're like, you should be,
Songwriter? Yeah, I know.
You should be, man. You
they're
get
just
away with the English language that is just impressive.
They're toilet tunes. In the small town of Corinth, nestled in Mississippi's northeast corner where the state lines blur, disappearances like this one cut deep. And Corinth has a population around 14,000, but it's your typical, like, deep south, southern, stoic, historic Civil War battles around. Bunch of mom and pop stores. Farming is the big industry. It's a community where everyone knows someone who knows you. Duncan's vanishing or disappearance has kind of left everybody dumbfounded. His brother, Sidney Shadburn, told local reporters a couple of months after he disappeared, quote, "We're not giving up. Duncan is family, and family doesn't fade." So he was born. We're just going to go with Duncan. Duncan was born and raised in the heart of Alcorn County. There's very little on this disappearance, so I apologize if it seems like we're just kind of hitting the high notes. It's the only thing I could find. But doing a deep dive, I found that he was just a quiet young man. He stood at 5'7", weighed about 175 pounds, lean build. Friends called him wiry. Don't want to tie up with him. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. When somebody says that one right there is wiry, you don't want to mess with that one.
Yeah, I agreed.
Duncan was the kind of guy that could blend into the background, kind of unassuming, introspective, but he really loved living the rural life. Those close to him remember that he had a quick laugh and a penchant for the outdoors. He was the kind of guy who would rather go fishing than be in the big city. Duncan's early life is extremely elusive. There was only a couple of threads that I could find on, like, is that dog snoring?
It's something outside.
Oh, okay.
But we took the reason why it's so quiet around here is we took them to a playground and just let them run loose. They're hard.
I was about to say, you tuckered the tuckers?
What?
I said you tuckered their tuckers.
Oh, yeah. Hell, I can't speak. You're too damn country. I can't even understand you.
Oh, shit. Y'all heard it here first. So getting back at it, Duncan, there's just not a lot of information out there. Public records kind of state that he was born in Corinth, stayed in Corinth. In his late teens, early 20s, he kind of had some dips in with the law. He had a petty theft charge in 2006 and a DUI in 2012. There's not, like, nothing earth-shattering. People that knew him said that he was a devoted uncle to his nieces and nephews. He was a reliable family member that always lent a hand when anybody needed it. He would also lend his truck to people without a second thought. His brother, Sidney, again stated that Duncan was a fixer. He also stated, quote, "If your carburetor went out on Highway 72, he'd be there with tools before you finished calling 911. He had bounced between some blue-collar gigs, kind of, typical of the average guy in Corinth. He worked at some auto shops, worked on a couple of construction crews. Web Sleuth said that he had dabbled in the oil and gas fields up near Memphis, but didn't really enjoy it. He was not someone that was flashy. He didn't have a social media trail. He didn't post everything that on the Sun like most people do. He would just be occasionally tagged in some family members' outings or a bass tournament. He had been with his girlfriend at the time for several years. He would live part-time with her at her Mathis Road home. And take this with a grain of salt. Now, Reddit said that they may have been, having some issues, and that he may have turned to substance use to help with that, but he battled depression on and off. However, they didn't go as far as to say that he was deep in the opioid crisis in and around Corinth. Some people who knew him, considered him a friend, stated that he was an avid hunter, fisherman. Like I said before, he would always help get up before dawn, go set up the hunting stands, the hunting camp, all that kind of stuff. It was the passion for the outdoors that he had planned an outing with his brother Sidney and some their family members. I think they were going duck hunting that morning. Sidney stated he was excited about it, texted me the night before and said, "Don't oversleep, bro." And he said that he would go on to say that that was Duncan's way of making sure that everybody still knew that they were going, come rain or shine. So a couple of days before his disappearance, there was nothing really, out there that could kind of lead you to believe that he was going to step out or something was going on. He had spent the evening on January 6th at his girlfriend's. Supposedly they had a petty little argument over one of them coming home late one night and the other one not pulling their weight around the house. It got a little heated, but didn't turn violent. I think she was frustrated with his irregular work hours and long shifts. He worked at a local diner at that time. It sounds like they were still pissed at each other by the time bedtime rolled around, and so he decided to sleep on the couch. He woke around 4:30 that morning. Didn't tell her goodbye, didn't leave a note, just I'm trying to, it's hard to kind of put this because there's not much out there. I've seen a couple of things where either he left his keys on the kitchen counter or he took his keys and drove off in his F-150. What we do know is he had on a blue hoodie, shorts, a green beanie, and some gray tennis shoes. Now, I will say this, depending on how cold it was, that is typical underwater attire if you are a hot-natured person. I know a lot of people that wear waders that are insulated, that just wear gym shorts underneath it and will wear like a hoodie up top. So while that seems extremely odd for January, if he really was looking to go duck hunting, they're saying it was 28 degrees that morning, but still not. And I say that because today my goofy butt went and scouted some properties and like a genius, I had on a hoodie and some sweatpants, and by about halfway to where I was trying to get, I was like, can I get naked and no one say anything? I'm so damn hot.
Somebody gonna say something, brother.
Somebody gonna say something. If I'd have gotten naked, there'd have been another hunter and been like, what are you doing? People theorized that Duncan had basically woke up kind of still sore about the argument and slipped outside to kind of walk around, clear his head before he headed off. Mathis Road, where the girlfriend lived, is a residential road that feeds into Highway 72. There's no sidewalks, just your typical rural road. Some pine thickets dot the road here and there, but by 5:40 a.m., he is actually seen on CCTV at the Old Bull Market. And according to the convenience store clerk, he just walked in. Now, this convenience store is located at 3107 Highway 72 West, and it's across the street from Morris Crum Tire Center. There's a very grainy surveillance footage still shot that if you Google Duncan, it will come up, and it was released by the Corinth PD on January the 20th.
Okay. I just want to go back just in case any of the family members may be listening. When I said that he was intoxicated, I was thinking about the other guy.
Oh, okay.
Just so I just don't want hateful emails.
We don't
know how that goes. I met my wife because of one, but
yeah, we don't want that smoke. I don't
want to be insensitive and make an assumption and get somebody angry. So I'm just correcting myself on that.
Very well, sir. Very well.
I have absolutely no idea if this guy was intoxicated. I know the next guy is.
Now, Duncan in this picture, he looks gaunt and disheveled. However, let's keep in mind, it's 28 degrees outside and he's got on shorts and it's 5:40 in the morning. I might look a little disheveled myself. Now, people in the store and the clerk said that he did look like he was cold. His legs, had the old goosebumps. And the clerk, a woman named Maria, and that's a pseudonym because she doesn't want to be contacted, told investigators, quote, he looked lost, like he had been walking through hell, end quote. She hands him a hot coffee, and she also gives him a black puffer jacket from the lost and found bin, along with a black T-shirt that had some kind of yellow writing across it. He drapes the shirt around his thighs, kind of like a kilt, charges his phone for about 10 minutes, makes no calls. He texts his brother, but no frantic, hey, come get me, no please to his girlfriend, nothing. And then he walks out the door. Maria says that he headed eastbound toward the Tennessee line, which was only about 15 miles away. But that's the last she saw of him. Now, another possible sighting occurred around 10:30 that morning, and a motorist reported seeing a man matching Duncan's description walking toward Pickwick Landing. Now, that's a little lakeside community where the Tennessee River meets the state lines of Mississippi and Tennessee.
Tennessee River and a mountain man.
We go together.
We get together anytime we can.
By noon, when his brother Sidney had arrived for the duck hunt, he found Duncan's truck abandoned, and he starts panicking. He starts calling, not getting an answer. He's leaving voicemails. They're piling up. 24 hours later, on January 8th, his brother filed the missing persons report with Corinth, Mississippi PD. They kick off an investigation, and it kind of just went nowhere because, and I don't think, we love to throw shade if you're an idiot, but I think this one, Corinth's not very big, and there just was not a lot to go on. They canvassed Mathis Road. They had K9 units sniff the store's perimeter from his home. They put up drones. They did a search, but they didn't find anything. And then, to make matters worse, the next day, a freak snowstorm came through Alcorn County and basically buried any potential tracks and put all searches to a halt. Several volunteers.
That puts it in like missing 411 territory?
It might. I did not even think to look at Pilatus and see if he did a video on it, but he may have.
It's not a bad thing. We might want to check out.
I know it. A lot of his hunting buddies kind of volunteered a little search party. His church group, some true crime enthusiasts that heard about it that lived close, kind of went in and started fanning out, just combing anything they could. They went to the thickest briars and bullshit, and if you're not from the South, you don't know what that represents, but that's briars, vines. If you run into it, you ain't going very far.
Not quickly.
No, and you're going to cuss repeatedly.
That's a given.
You're going to make up new cuss words. You're going to use all the ones you know, and then you're going to be like, I'm out of them. I'm going to have to make me up some combos. Now, as soon as the snowstorm passed, they were out there, like I said, combing riverbanks, pine thickets, everything. They couldn't find anything, and I mean nothing. No wallet, no phone, no boot prints in the mud. No, like this man blinked out of existence. Now, some theories on web sleuths kind of threw some shade at the girlfriend and the argument, but police cleared her. I think she volunteered for a polygraph, not very smart. However, they kind of early on disproved any of her involvement. And here's the thing, you know as well as I do, everybody has had a spat every once in a while about some stupid shit at the house with your significant other. And I mean, if you happen to walk out and disappear, then yeah, that's going to be under a huge microscope. But there was I really don't get a feeling that this guy they had a tumultuous relationship, I guess I should say.
Right. No reason to suspect her.
Yes.
Because I'm sure by now, if there was reason to suspect her, the family would suspect her, and that's just not the case.
No, and people are kind of leaning towards, if he really was on foot with that snowstorm coming, with the temperature as low as it was, dressed the way he was, he probably succumbed to hypothermia. He was very thin, like I said. People are calling him emaciated in that thing. I just think he's a wiry guy that just can't hold weight. I mean, we all know those guys that look like hell, but, you know, they're not malnourished.
He doesn't look like gaunt. He just looks like a normal dude. You know, you can't see like his cheekbones.
Of course.
His face is sunken in.
Right. Of course you have.
Just got a disheveled beard.
Well, and it's 5:30 in the morning. If he woke up from the couch and was planning on going hunting, he was probably not thinking that, hey, I'm going to be out here forever. So that kind of leads you to something happened between the time he walked out, and if you are walking out to clear your head, or you're thinking, hey, I'm just going to walk down here to this convenience store. I know it's cold. I'm going to get me some coffee, clear my mind, walk back. It feels like something may have gone awry. Of course, the tried and true is he did this on purpose, and there was a Reddit thread who said that they had known a lot of people that didn't have a large online footprint to begin with, to just walk out and head to Texas, get a job on the rigs out there.
I saw that. Somebody said their friend did it.
Yeah.
Just literally disappeared. They found him like a year later working on an oil rig.
There was rumors of human trafficking, and that kind of, if you look,
oil rigs. Have you watched Landman?
Yes, that's a good show.
That's a good show. I like Billy Bob Thornton a lot.
I do too. Sidebar: did you watch his or listen to his interview on Joe Rogan?
I did not. I don't listen to Joe Rogan.
There was a clip from it. I hadn't listened to the whole thing, but there was one clip where they got on the topic of people with a lot of money pissed them off. And he said, if you're a billionaire and you want to save the chinchillas, which he didn't say chinchillas, I can't remember what he said. Badgers. I think he said badgers. If you want to save the badgers and you have billions of dollars, do me a favor, fucking save the badgers and shut up about it. He goes, in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to break your bank account to save the badgers. Just do it and be quiet.
He's got an interesting thing, a little clip about when he talks about his brother. His brother died. Man, it'll break your heart, dude.
He also said that, I didn't realize he was in this, but he played a train conductor in that old Val Kilmer movie where Val Kilmer was on the chain gang, and it was a remake of a real early movie. I barely remember it. Anyway, he said that this was one of his first speaking parts, and that whole monologue from Sling Blade, he said to himself in his little trailer during that movie, and never wrote it down, nothing. And so when it came time for the Sling Blade, he just repeated it. He goes, I could repeat it now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There ain't got no gas in it.
I know, I love that one.
I've taken a new job, as you know, and one of the clients, Down syndrome young man, and he talks just like Sling Blade. I love him. Great kid. But he's like, I ain't got no gas in it. Reminds me so much.
All right, so Sydney, the brother is a contractor with Shadburn Construction. He has kind of took it upon himself to keep Duncan's name out there. Less than a month later, he had set out a $5,000 reward, put up flyers in Corinth, in basically anywhere between Corinth and Savannah, Tennessee. Quote, someone knows something. He's pled with people on Facebook, Twitter, just come forward, please give us a call, a clue, something. But as of the recording of this episode, his case is kind of cold. He's not even listed on NamUs, which is the National Missing Persons website database. And this has kind of pissed his family off, which I don't blame him.
Yeah, how can you? I mean, why would he not be on there? Was my question.
I don't know. It's weird, And to give you a kind of a geographical standpoint, Corinth is really close to Shiloh, and we know what happened at Shiloh during the Civil War is bloody.
Yeah.
I think it was the bloodiest.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think Shiloh was the bloodiest?
And
yeah, you're right. Antietam probably was, yeah. Now, Duncan, if you have any information, if you have any clues, if you may have seen someone around this time and you just didn't think anything about it and somehow you found our podcast, please call the Corinth PD at 662-286-3377 or Sydney Construction at 662-415-3526. Hopefully, we get some closure. His family gets some closure in this fairly soon.
Do you honestly think it's possible that he just literally just walked away and created a new life? What do you think happened here?
I don't know. I mean, he had the background. We do a lot of these, and we're like, there's no way in hell. However, if I was going to pick someone that could get away with it, not having a huge digital footprint with social media, working odd jobs, like I think he worked at a diner and, a bunch of blue collar jobs here and there. I mean, I wouldn't be out of the question. However, it seems like in my research that he was a very big family guy. I don't see him just walking out on his family and not giving them any signs. Like they can't even hear, 10 months later, they can't replay things that they feel like would be a clue that, he had, he was having a lot of mental problems or he was looking at sliding away from us. I didn't see any of that. So
Then what happened?
Here's what's jacked up.
You can't just not leave any trace. There's going to be something.
If he's close to the Tennessee River, as they said, and he was on foot, and he went down to that landing. I'm not saying this. I've not seen this anywhere. This is just my crazy mind working. If he was on foot and he was thinking, I'm just going to walk down here to this, dock on the edge of the Tennessee River, one of two things could have happened. Either it was still dark outside, someone hits him, don't think they hit a person, he succumbs to the elements, somehow close to the river and is washed away. Or he goes to the dock, drinking his coffee, slips because it's 28 degrees outside, and he's in the river and he's gone. I mean, it could be bad. That cold and that river's flying. So, I mean, that's the only thing that I could come up with after looking at this. Because you're right. It's like he just walked outside after he got that coffee and a jacket from the lady at the gas station, and he gone.
What type of jacket was it again?
A big black puffer. A black puffer jacket.
What's a puffer jacket? Would a puffer jacket get really heavy if it got submerged in water?
Yes.
Okay.
And with him already being cold from the walk, it wouldn't have taken long for hypothermia to sink in. So, Not good. Not good. And it sounded like I think did they say he had a hoodie on? I know I just read this and I can't remember shit. That's how old I am. What do you have?
He did have a hoodie on.
So if just thinking of the one I've got on right now, this thing wet weighs 400 pounds when I get it out of the washing machine. So, but anyway, like I said, that's my only theory, man, is something could have happened close to the river, or he got hit and somebody thought they didn't hit a person, like wasn't paying attention, hit something, looked in the rearview mirror, didn't see anything, was like, what the fuck was that? Was it a dog? And just kept going.
That's rough. To just keep going though, even if you think you hit something.
Oh, I know. I have thought I hit a dog before and turned around and like drove back up and down the road. Can't find anything. So
I just remembered I didn't tell my wife about this either, but she'd have been shocked. I ran over a cat the other day, but it hunkered down and I missed it. Like it ran out in the middle of the road, and as soon as I went over it, it hunkered down and I didn't make a sound, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and it got up and looked like gave me the finger and kept on running.
Where'd you come from?
Yeah, I would have definitely. If I'd have killed it, she'd have known because I'd been called.
Dude, I can't stand doing. Like I know that I hunt and stuff like that, and people are like, "How can you do?" There's a difference, man. I cannot stand that kind of stuff. Like especially if I'm driving. So, but anyway. Next, we have the disappearance of Brandon Blancett or Blancett. However, we're going to go with Blancett.
Yeah, let's go with Blancett. If we say it wrong and a family member hears it, we will apologize for that too.
So on the evening of October 10th, 2021, 34-year-old Brandon Blancett walked away from a home in the Wildwood Point neighborhood in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and was never seen again. In the years since, friends and family and volunteers have performed searches of the surrounding woods, canvassed leads, while investigators have processed devices, followed tips. Still, the details that remain are sparse, and there are lots of holes in theories.
Well, according to the Charlie Project, he was not only was he intoxicated, but he was like screaming and hollering and talking about the Bible and all different kinds of things.
Yeah, the day he disappeared they've kind of pieced it back together. But before we get to that, Brandon was remembered by friends and families. Just the few. He had, all right, so he was a man who socialized with like a select group of friends. He worked locally around Jonesboro. He did have some past substance abuse problems. He did have some relatives that passed that maybe have had substance abuse problems as well. According to, and this is all stuff, please understand, there's not a whole lot of information out there on both of these cases. And that's why we had to put them together. And I've tried my best. So like Coach said, if you're a family member listening and we get something wrong, please reach out and we will gladly correct our wrong.
Right.
As great as the internet is, it's not as great as you would think. But according to police and multiple accounts, on October 10th, 2021, there wasn't anything extraordinary going on in Brandon's life. He had visited his girlfriend's home on Wildwood Point that day. At some point, an argument occurs. Shortly afterwards, witnesses state that Brandon walked away from the house and did not return. His phone and social media went dark after that evening. Investigators later took devices given by his girlfriend and another witness for forensic processing. There have been no verified activity on those devices or on his social accounts since his disappearance. Friends who have spoken to some local news agencies and some online forums say that the quick departure, abrupt behavior was kind of out of character. Searches were immediately formed, and they started going through the neighborhood, the nearby surrounding woods. He was described as nearly 6 foot tall, weighed approximately 215 pounds, with brown hair, blue eyes, and a reddish beard at times. He had some distinctive tattoos, a dove and a rose on his upper left arm, praying hands on his chest, and these have been noted on several news bulletins and missing persons flyers. The Jonesboro Police Department took the missing persons report, referred the electronic evidence to its high-tech crimes unit for analysis. According to some people, like I said, in some news articles and on some crime forums, volunteers, family, and friends organized searches through wooded areas and periodically started trying to get tips on Facebook. Reddit threads were dedicated to his case, as well as some Facebook groups. Local news outlets covered these efforts and tried to also help get his name out there. So the searches kind of went through some thick brush, some abandoned structures that were nearby the neighbor or the residence he walked out of. In November of 2023, Crime Stoppers of Jonesboro and some local media outlets announced a $1,000 reward for information about Brandon's whereabouts. Basically, his case is also gone cold. People close to his family are hoping that this reward kind of spurs some new leads. They went through, the first time they dropped it was October the 10th of 2021 about the $1,000 reward. And then 2 years ago in November, they kind of revisited the case. Police have publicly confirmed that they did indeed process those electronic devices. They are also asking the community for tips. They have released very few details about those forensic findings or anything else that they have found. Which, if there's not a whole lot of information that they glean from it, they're going to keep that close to the vest, just in case this was a foul play situation. And it does leave the family kind of pissed, and rumor mills kind of start, and message board threads on web sleuths and Reddit and Facebook are, chock full of theories. There's some of them suggest that he left voluntarily after a relapse or a personal crisis. Others suspect that this altercation with the girlfriend may have led to another altercation and an accidental death happened. Speculation goes everywhere. There's been a lot of unverified sightings posted on social media. None of them have been confirmed. There was some locally produced videos about some unsolved segments in 2025, and kind of underscores the community's frustration and the limited public facts that they are able to find and share. The family just wants some answers. They refuse to stop searching. His friends are out there searching. It's just, they're hoping they can get some new evidence and kickstart this investigation. Now, these are scandidly spotty theory kind of situations that I was able to find. The forensic device results, if they recovered some kind of text message, or his phone pinged somewhere, or there was a bunch of deletions, those, like I've said, those things have not been disclosed to the public. So you have one of two things: either they did not find anything on his electronic devices, or they found just enough that they're going to keep it close to the vest in case it is a foul play situation. The witness timelines, public summaries mention an argument at the girlfriend's home, and witnesses see him leave. There's a couple of discrepancies, while they're small, in when and where people actually last saw him, who left first, was there a car parked there, someone drive away. So there has been a timeline, maybe loose timeline, but the forums are theorizing that a more tightly timeline needs to be kind of put out there, maybe canvass some door camera footage, some metadata, some timestamps, other witnesses, kind of narrowing down a time window for when he actually disappeared. Wildwood Point is surrounded by some dense woods pretty close. There have been some people that were lost in there before. You got the gamut of if he was injured or became disoriented, he could have become immobile and succumbed to the elements. But as fast as they searched for him, you would think he would have turned up by then.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, just the fact that these two guys can just vanish. I mean, essentially, they just vanished.
Yeah, and the thing is, there was no, just like Duncan's case, there's no previous activity, no like lead up to it that would lead you to believe that he was going to step out or that he was going to have an altercation with someone. While Coach said that, he was kind of irate and kind of leads you to believe that he was under the influence, there wasn't anything on. Nobody has kind of pieced together who he was with earlier that day, whether he had any kind of appointments. Did he go get cash out? Or did he have an argument with someone other than his girlfriend? No unusual behavior is basically what you find when you look into this. So there's not really any real motive or direction for the case to go. Public's posts, like I said, mentioned some past substance abuses and maybe a relapse occurred because he was frustrated. Again, you don't know if that's the case and there was a huge argument. The foul play angle is there. So I don't know. This one's a little bit older. I mean, we're looking at 4 years this past October. There's just not any more forensic findings that they have left are released. And so the only thing that people are kind of leaning towards is maybe a more detailed time frame between the early morning of October the 10th and the evening of October the 11th of 2021. A higher reward might help, but we are talking small town Arkansas, small town America. So, it's truly, a huge mystery. The only thing we know for certain is that he was last seen walking from Wildwood Point on October the 10th. No one has confirmed any electronic activity past that evening. There's just, there's nothing out there. It's rough, man. If you think you saw him around October the 10th, 11th, 12th of 2021, please contact the Jonesboro Police Department or Crime Stoppers of Craighead County.
What county?
Craighead.
I thought you said crackhead.
That would be even better. I think one of the local, unsolved was on KAIT, K8 News. But Charlie Project, there's some more theorems out, or theorem. Damn, I did it again. Theories. I'm reading threads about forums and I'm just putting them together. So there's some threads on some forums like on Web Sleuth and Reddit, and I did not want to sully this man's good name because some of them theories are a little out there. So, and I know that in the past we have talked about some of the crazier ones, but since this case does not have a lot of information about it, I didn't want to report on hearsay. If you're interested, knock yourself out. Just type in his name, Brandon Blancett, on Web Sleuth and Reddit, and you're more than welcome to read to your heart's content. In this situation, I don't know. Like in the other one, like I said, I was thinking, he's close to the river. It's close, it's cold. He could have, but this one, I have no idea what happened. Like it's even odder. So,
Well, I mean, I don't know, if he really was intoxicated and he had a relapse, I mean, he could, but you'd think they'd find him.
right. That's the thing. You know, you'd think if he was just blitzed out of his mind one way or the other, that during all those searches, and they were pretty quick searches too, so you would think that he would have been found fairly quickly. So, I don't know, man. It's just, like I said, two odd disappearances. You know, if you have any information that you're like, hey, man, y'all should have went this way, let us know. We can revisit this case, of course. But yeah, and if we see any things come out on the social medias or the things like that, we will definitely keep you abreast of it. Other than that, do you have a theory on this one, or?
No, I really don't. Like, I just don't see how people can just disappear, especially, you know, how far could he have gotten? You know?
Yeah, I mean,
it wasn't like he was. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. I just don't know, man.
I was trying to pull up Craighead County just to give our lovely, lovely listeners. So you're looking at... Well, it ain't going to let me. It's in northeast Arkansas. Like I said, the main city is Jonesboro, but you're looking at a couple of little towns. You got the Cache River on the west side, but I don't know how far that is from his little, where he walked away at, but, you know, 63 is the main thoroughfare that skirts the outside and or the loop of Craighead County. But I don't know. I mean, it's just weird, man. Super, super duper weird. But anyway, Coach, you got any recommendations?
Well, I found me a new podcast that I will recommend. It's called Myth Fits.
Yeah.
It is Carrie Bynum and Tori Belleci from Mythbusters.
Excellent.
They have a new podcast. There's only 30 episodes or so. So I loved Mythbusters.
Yeah, I did too.
Absolutely love Mythbusters. And so now that they're doing a show, I'm going to watch it or listen to it.
So mine is a movie. I know it's kind of weird. I don't usually do the movies. It is a psychological and emotional thriller starring Emma Thompson called Dead of Winter. Holy bejesus. This lady loses her husband. He leaves her this little thing about you need to go ice fishing at this place. She heads out that way, encounters some crazy shit when she's trying to get her stuff out of her truck. And the shenanigans ensue, I should say. Debauchery at every turn. It's called The Dead of Winter. I think it's on Netflix. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, it's good, man. It's good.
Looking
right.
it up right now.
Well, we will let you know whether it's on Netflix or not in real time.
On Apple TV.
So no, it is not.
Nope. It's on Amazon Prime, but you got to pay $19.99 for it.
It's pretty new, so you might want to wait a few minutes before you pay $20 for a movie, because it ain't happening, Captain. I will not disclose how I watched it. It was not from a video camera with heads in front of it.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, Coach, you got anything else for the good girls and boys out there?
You know I don't.
Doses.